You ever peep what's going on in politics and you just get to wondering, how do you go so far from for the people to this? What people wanted this? You're either aligned with one of these two sides or the latter. The first side, they want to have you forget about the past so that they can create a new idealistic future where it's safe for everyone, in air quotations, except for the people that oppose their ideas. Or you are aligned with people that want to keep you in a state of suffering, but they won't allow you to get to a point where you've broken out of the suffering. And they won't keep you in a state of suffering in the sense that you're always taking losses. It's just they don't want you to exceed them. And if you're not aligned with either of those, then you're being dragged along. And once you come to your senses and you look up, you're gonna be in an unrecognizable place. You're just gonna wonder to yourself, what has the world become? Like I did at the start of this video. You can break people down into all these classifications, and you can break people down into all these tribes. But in reality, merely distinguishing one from another doesn't necessarily mean you did anything. People are so entranced by their own experience that we've come to a point where you're willing to align yourself with extremists, or you're willing to start your own revolutionary army because you have ideas that you feel like people need to be listening to. People need to adhere to your perspective on the world. They say America is a government founded by the people for the people. But what is a government really supposed to do? If you say anything but control, then you really have a problem. They say that if America ever becomes a socialist country, it's through liberalism. I say, why do we allow ourselves to be dragged along? If it's truly made up by the people and for the people, then there should never be a time where you have to wonder what you need to do to bring change. What does a person do if they genuinely want to seek reform? Perfect example, Roe versus Wade, the current abortion topic. I'm not going into whether I'm pro-choice or pro-life. It doesn't matter. On both sides, what can you do to get your point across? What can you do to genuinely make a change? Posting on the internet does absolutely nothing except get you a couple of likes, couple of views. Going and marching in the streets does absolutely nothing except make your feet hurt. What are you genuinely going to do? Are we going to storm the Capitol every time that there's something that happens you disagree with? What is a homeless man doing to further his political agenda? What does a homeless man have to do with politics? That's not to berate homeless people, but it's just to get your mind thinking. What is he even supposed to do? Where does he start? If you don't have money, I don't think they're gonna bat an eye about what you have to say. If you aren't affecting the flow of things, if all you do is exist and complain, you're not doing anything. We need to create new movements, new groups of activists. Honestly, violence is the answer. Once you start rioting and you start making demands, no one's going to ignore you anymore. You have to get violent. And that's to all of you, not just people seeking reform. To anyone who feels as if their words are just echoing and not being heard, you have to align yourself with like-minded people and go on the offensive. They won't ignore you if you're destroying their infrastructure. They can't ignore you. And once they acknowledge you, then they'll start listening. Attack.